Have you ever wondered where you stack up in the endurance hierarchy? That's our topic for today. My co-author, John Hellemans, MD, handles this topic great. And in pure Dutch Kiwi fashion, he's really straightforward with it. So let's bring up his table of subjective perception just to give you a bit of a feel. Now, he tiers athletes in terms of folks that are coming to him either in his medical practice or as a coach very simply. So you're either a health and fitness exerciser and it's all about moving for health, or you're a novice slash developing athlete in whatever sport and you're normally training just to complete a race. The next level up, competitive amateur. So you're trying to compete for an age group competition, but it's not going to take over your whole life. And then there are the elites that he coaches. And in the elites, he tiers that out because he coaches athletes all the way up to the Olympic / world champion level. And within the elite, we kind of throw elites into a big box, but actually there's a lot of tiers within that category as well. Now, if you're a health and fitness exerciser, it's really about moving and doing a little bit of strength-oriented work, some sort of resistance work, either traditional resistance work or outside in terms of doing some big gear work or some paddles if you're a swimmer, or using hills is probably the most popular and the easiest way for most of us to do that. And I like John's way. But when I talk about sports performance, I like to link commitment and schedule to where you're likely to end up in terms of competitive level. So I look at it a little differently than John, but kind of similarly when you listen to me break it down, because it gives you an expectation of what you're going to need to create in terms of space to fit in the training volume to get the result. Okay? Because you need to create the space in your life for this new lifestyle or to achieve a higher competitive tier. So those health and fitness exercisers, you're going to be doing something most mornings. And that's really it. Are you able to do something most mornings? Yes, health and fitness exerciser. That next level up, novice, developing type athlete, that is all mornings. So you're either going to do strength or cardio every single morning. And it's about creating a life where you can do that consistently. And you have to do the action before you worry about what you're doing. So prove that you can do it before trying to optimize yourself. So if you're in these lower commitment levels, there's not much point in trying to optimize what you're doing because it's really just about doing. And if you want a better result or a different result, you're probably going to need to do more. But before you can do more, you're going to have to create a little bit more space, ideally in your mornings. Now, if you want to do longer events, longer endurance events, something every morning, plus you're going to have one long day a week. Can you do that? Well, then you can move into that developing athlete stage. Done a few events, you want to try and compete. You want to be competitive. Okay, that's another level up. So now you're every morning, you've got a long day, and sometimes you're going to do double workouts. You're going to have double days. Session in the morning and a session after work or a session at lunch. And that's going to be what's required at the competitive amateur tier. You want to level up. You want to be a top amateur. What you're going to need then is you're going to need control of your mornings, ideally. If you can gain control of all your mornings, or even most your mornings, it's going to give you tremendous flexibility, not just for training, because you're not going to be training all morning, every morning. what you're going to be able to do is you're going to be able to do the dynamic loading. You're going to be able to adjust the load based on how you're feeling and what's going on in your life. And because you have control of all your mornings, you can move things around with your schedule, meaning if you got to put in more of a work focus on a day, it's okay. You've got all the other mornings of your week to get the work done. And that's how I do it. That's going to enable you to do, when your body's ready for it, a tremendous amount of volume. And volume is going to be the primary driver. And as an amateur, it's the primary way you can differentiate yourself is creating space and getting the volume done, because your competition is going to be limited in volume because of their life structure. So it's a relatively simple explanation, but it's very powerful if you can just repeat the week based on the competitive level. If you have aspirations to move up the competitive tier, you need to create the space before you try and jam in the work and jam in the training. If you don't, your life will fall apart on you. It won't be fun. You won't be consistent. And that lack of consistency will show, and that's how you know that your bar is set a little too high, and you'll get a better result by aiming lower. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Hit that like button, then head over to my YouTube channel and subscribe to the Lemon to Legend playlist. My book, From Lemon to Legend, is now available on Amazon.